The starship Helios drifted silently through the darkness of deep space, its massive solar sails gleaming under the distant starlight. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the strange anomaly that had brought their exploration mission to an unexpected halt. After 6 months of pushing humanity's boundaries into unexplored space, they had found something that defied explanation. Engineering confirms it's not a natural formation, Commander Lieutenant Carlos Rodriguez reported, his holographic displays casting a blue glow across his face. The structure's composition suggests advanced manufacturing techniques we've never seen before. The object in question was a massive station, its architecture unlike anything humanity had encountered in their century of space exploration. Its twisted spires and curved surfaces seemed to both absorb and reflect light in impossible ways, creating an almost organic appearance despite its clearly artificial nature. Life support systems? Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the excitement building in her chest. This was why they had ventured so far from Earth, the hope of finding evidence of other intelligent life. Present, but minimal, Rodriguez answered. Atmosphere is thin but breathable. Internal temperature is just above freezing. Power signatures are detected but severely diminished. Sarah turned to Dr. Emily Watson, the mission's xenobiologist. Your thoughts? Emily's fingers danced across her tablet as she analyzed the incoming data. If there was life here, they were humanoid in nature. The environmental conditions suggest compatibility with our basic needs. But these readings... She paused, frowning. There's something else, something active. The bridge crew fell silent as a new alert appeared on their screens. A signal, weak but persistent, emanating from the station's core. It's a distress beacon, Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka announced, her voice tinged with disbelief. And it's not automated. Someone's manually activating it. Sarah's decision was immediate. Prep the boarding team. Full containment protocols, but we're going in armed for rescue, not conflict. Dr. Watson, you're with me. Lieutenant Rodriguez, you have the bridge. As the boarding shuttle approached the station, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to change human history forever. The station's entry port responded to their universal docking protocols, suggesting whoever built it had similar basic engineering principles to humanity. The boarding team moved through the station's corridors with practiced precision, their helmet lights illuminating surfaces that seemed to shimmer with an inner luminescence. The architecture became more organic as they proceeded deeper, with corridors that appeared to have grown rather than been constructed. Commander, Emily's voice came through the comm. These walls, they're responsive to our presence. The material is actually adapting to our passage. Before Sarah could respond, they heard it, a sound that didn't belong in the emptiness of space, a melody haunting and complex, echoing through the station's halls. They found them in what appeared to be a central chamber, beings that looked almost human, but with skin that rippled like the station's walls, changing colors in subtle patterns. Their eyes were large and completely silver, reflecting the team's lights like mirrors. There were 20 of them, huddled together around a central pillar that pulsed with a weak light. One of them stepped forward, its skin shifting to match the color of the human's environmental suits. When it spoke, its voice was a harmony of multiple tones, but the words were clear enough. You came. After so long, someone finally came. The universal translator wasn't needed. They were speaking perfect English. We are the Nexari, the being continued, its voice carrying both hope and desperation. Or rather, what remains of those who were left behind. Our own people abandoned us here, believing us to be too dangerous to live among them. We have waited for centuries, hoping someone would hear our call. Sarah removed her helmet, trusting the environmental readings. The air was cold but breathable. I'm Commander Sarah Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Helios. Why were you abandoned? The Nexari's skin rippled with dark colors, an expression of pain, Sarah guessed. Because we could do this, it said, and suddenly the chamber around them transformed. The walls became transparent, showing a perfect view of space around them, as if they were standing in void itself. We can merge with and manipulate technology in ways our people found frightening. They called us abominations, claimed we would be the end of their pure civilization. Emily stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overtaking her caution. You're techno-organic. A natural evolution or engineered? Natural. Another Nexari answered, moving closer. A mutation that appeared in a small percentage of our population. We can communicate with and control technology at a molecular level. Our people feared we would take control of their systems, their ships, their worlds. Instead of trying to understand us, they'd brought us here, to this automated research station, promising to return once they found a cure. That was 300 years ago. Sarah felt a mixture of horror and anger at the story. Humanity had its dark chapters of prejudice and fear, but to abandon your own people to die alone in space. How did you survive? The first Nexari gestured to the central pillar. This station was designed to be self-sustaining. With our abilities, we could maintain its critical systems even as they began to fail. We adapted, evolved further, became one with the station itself. But we are dying. The station's core is failing. And with it, our last chance at survival. Sarah looked at her team, seeing the same determination in their eyes that she felt. Humanity had come to space looking for wonders, for knowledge, for proof they weren't alone. Instead, they had found something more important. A chance to right an ancient wrong. We have room on the Helios, she said, turning back to the Nexari. Our medical facilities are advanced, and Earth would welcome beings with your unique abilities. We can help you, if you'll trust us. The Nexari's skin shifted through a rainbow of colors before settling on a warm gold. You had taken those abandoned by their own kind. Sarah smiled. Humanity has learned that our differences make us stronger. And if there's one thing we're good at, it's helping those in need. The chamber filled with a soft harmonic sound. The Nexari equivalent of laughter. Sarah would later learn. The station's walls pulsed with light, reflecting their joy. Then perhaps, the Nexari said, its silver eyes shining with hope, our people's greatest mistake will become our greatest fortune. We accept your offer, Commander Chen. Teach us what humanity knows of turning differences into strength. As Sarah coordinated with the Helios to begin evacuation procedures, she knew this was more than just a first contact or a rescue mission. This was the beginning of a partnership that would change both species forever. Humanity had found not just intelligent life, but kindred spirits among the stars. Beings who, like humans, knew what it meant to face adversity and emerge stronger. The universe, it seemed, had a way of bringing together those who needed each other most. The medical bay of the Helios hummed with activity as Dr. Emily Watson studied the holographic displays floating above her workstation. 2 weeks had passed since they'd rescued the Nexari, and each day brought new revelations about their extraordinary abilities. The being before her, who had chosen the name Atlas, shifted its skin color to match the soft blue of the medical bay walls. Your cellular structure is remarkable, Emily said, manipulating the 3D model of Nexari DNA floating between them. The way your bodies integrate with technology isn't just superficial, it's fundamental to your biology. Atlas's silver eyes tracked the rotating display. Our ancestors called it the convergence, the moment our species began to evolve beyond pure organic life. It started small, with children who could sense electronic fields. Within generations, we could interface directly with machines. The doors slid open as Commander Chen entered, followed by Chief Engineer Marcus Kelly. The engineer's face showed equal parts excitement and concern. Commander, you need to see this. The Nexari. They've been helping with our systems, and the improvements are, well, unprecedented. Sarah raised an eyebrow. Explain. Marcus projected a schematic of the Helios's engine core. They don't just interface with our technology. They understand it on an intuitive level. Atlas people have optimized our propulsion systems beyond anything our engineers thought possible. We're operating at 143% efficiency. It is how we survived so long on the station, Atlas explained, its skin rippling with patterns of light that seemed to match the engine schematics. We learned to stretch resources, to make systems work far beyond their designed limitations. Your technology is different, but the principles are the same. Sarah studied the readings. Any safety concerns? That's the remarkable thing, Marcus replied. The systems are actually more stable than before. It's like they've taught our technology to heal itself. A soft alarm chimed through the medical bay. One of the younger Nexeri, Nova, was having another episode. Emily rushed to the isolation chamber where the child's skin blazed with patterns of electric blue and gold. The chamber's systems fluctuated wildly as Nova's distress peaked. "It's happening again," Atlas said, moving to the chamber's window. The younger ones, their connection to technology is stronger, less controlled. It's why our people feared us most. They believed the children would one day lose control completely, merge with our world systems, and transform our civilization into something unrecognizable. Emily adjusted the chamber settings, helping Nova calm down. But that's not what was really happening, was it? Atlas's skin darkened. No, the children were evolving, becoming something new, something that could bridge the gap between organic and artificial life. Our leaders spoke of purity, of maintaining our species as it had always been. They couldn't accept that evolution doesn't ask permission. Sarah watched as Nova's patterns slowly stabilized. How many children survived? 7, Atlas answered. They are the last of their generation. On the station, we had no way to help them fully develop their abilities. Each episode risks overwhelming their systems. Marcus stepped closer to the chamber, his engineer's mind already working on solutions. What if we could help them learn control? Create safe environments for them to practice. We humans have some experience with helping extraordinary individuals manage their capabilities. Atlas turned its silver gaze to him. You would do this, even knowing the risks. Humanity's greatest strengths have always come from facing the unknown, Sarah said firmly. And often, what others fear as dangerous becomes our greatest asset when properly understood. The discussion was interrupted by a priority alert from the bridge. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through clear and tense. Commander, we're picking up something at the edge of our sensor range. It's big, and it's headed straight for the station. Sarah was already moving. Configuration. Unknown design, but Rodriguez paused. The Nexeri are saying it matches their people's construction patterns. Commander, it's a warship. Atlas's skin went almost transparent with shock. They've returned. After all this time, they finally returned. The mood in the medical bay shifted instantly. The adult Nexeri gathered around the children protectively, their skin colors synchronizing in patterns of anxiety and fear. They must have detected the power fluctuations when you rescued us, Atlas said. They've come to finish what they started. Sarah's expression hardened. No, they haven't. Lieutenant, sound general quarters. Get us between that ship and the station. Marcus, I want those engine improvements fully online. Dr. Watson, secure the medical bay. She turned to Atlas, her voice firm with conviction. 300 years ago, your people abandoned you to die. They didn't count on you finding allies. I need to know, are you with us? Atlas looked around at its fellow survivors, at the human crew who had shown them nothing but acceptance and support, at the children they had sworn to protect. Its skin shifted to a deep, resolute crimson. The station was our prison for 3 centuries, Commander. Now it will be our statement. We will show them what they tried to destroy, what we have become with humanity's help. The Helios's alert klaxons blared as the crew rushed to battle stations. In the medical bay, Nova and the other children gathered around Atlas, their skin patterns synchronizing into complex geometric shapes. Through the viewports, they could see the approaching ship, a massive vessel that seemed to be made of the same living metal as the station. Sarah watched her new allies with a mixture of pride and determination. Humanity had found these people at their lowest point, abandoned and alone in the void. Now, they would stand together against those who had cast them aside. The real question was, would the approaching Nexari warship recognize what they were facing, the combined strength of humanity's determination and the very power they had tried to erase from their species? As the ship drew closer, Sarah knew one thing for certain. This encounter would change both their peoples forever. The price of abandonment had been paid in full. Now it was time for redemption. The tension on the Helios's bridge could have been cut with a knife. The Nexari warship loomed in their view screen, its crystalline surface refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Commander Sarah Chen stood at her post, Atlas at her side, as they waited for the response to their hail. When the communication finally came through, the holographic projection showed a being similar to Atlas, but with rigid, controlled patterns flowing across its skin. High Commander Xeris of the Nexari Confederation. This is a Nexari matter, Xeris stated, their tone carrying harmonics of authority and disdain. Your presence here is unnecessary and unwelcome, human vessel. Sarah stepped forward. With respect, High Commander, you gave up any claim to these people when you abandoned them to die. They're under our protection now. Xeris's skin flickered with patterns of surprise and barely contained anger. Protection. You harbor dangerous aberrations that threaten the very fabric of our society. Their abilities are uncontrollable, unpredictable. No, Atlas interrupted, their own skin glowing with newfound confidence. You never tried to understand us. You never gave us a chance to show you what we could become. As if on cue, the Helios's systems hummed with enhanced efficiency, the ship's lights pulsing in harmony with the Nexari children's combined power. The displays around them sharpened, sensor readings became crystal clear, and the ship itself seemed to respond to their presence like a living thing. This is what you feared. Sarah gestured to the seamless integration of human technology and Nexari abilities. They haven't destroyed our systems. They've enhanced them, improved them. Your fear of evolution almost cost you the next step in your species' development. Xeris's projection wavered, their skin patterns showing conflict. You cannot understand. Our civilization is built on stability, on controlled progress. And you've achieved neither, Atlas countered. Look at what we've accomplished in mere weeks with humans. They embrace change, celebrate differences. Their technology evolves because they allow it to, just as species must evolve to survive. Dr. Emily Watson stepped onto the bridge, carrying data tablets filled with her research. High Commander, if I may. We've been studying the Nexari children's abilities. What you see as a threat, we see as an extraordinary evolutionary advancement. They're not destroying technology. They're creating a symbiosis that could revolutionize both our civilizations. The bridge's holographic systems activated, displaying Emily's findings. The data showed the children's growing control over their abilities, the beneficial improvements to the Helios's systems, and the potential applications that could benefit both species. Impossible, Xeris whispered, their skin patterns shifting to show disbelief. Our best scientists said integration at this level would lead to chaos. Your scientists were limited by their fears, Marcus called from his engineering station. Commander, show them what Nova did this morning. Sarah nodded, and the display changed to show the ship's engine core. The efficiency ratings were off the charts, but more importantly, the systems showed perfect stability. Nova, the youngest of the Nexari children, had found a way to communicate with the ship's AI, creating a harmony between organic and artificial intelligence that neither species had thought possible. This is just the beginning, Sarah said. Imagine what we could accomplish together, all of us, your people's technology, humanity's adaptability, and the Nexari children's unique abilities. Instead of fearing change, embrace it. Xeris was silent for a long moment, their skin cycling through complex patterns as they processed what they were seeing. Finally, they spoke. The council will need to be consulted. This changes everything we thought we knew. Then let us show you more, Atlas offered. Not as aberrations to be feared, but as children of your species who have found their true potential. Let us build a bridge between what was and what could be. The next several hours were a flurry of diplomatic discussions, technical demonstrations, and cultural exchange. The Nexari warship's crew, initially hostile, became increasingly fascinated by the integration they witnessed. The children, sensing the shift in attitude, began to display their abilities with growing confidence. Sarah watched as Nova and two other children interfaced with both ship systems, creating a synchronized light show that demonstrated both their control and creativity. The fear in the watching Nexari officer's eyes gradually transformed into wonder. "We thought we were protecting our future," Kazuris admitted, their skin now showing patterns of regret. "Instead, we nearly destroyed it. These children, they are not our doom, but our next step forward." "Evolution isn't always comfortable," Emily added gently. "But fighting it only leads to stagnation. These children represent a bridge not just between organic and artificial life, but between our peoples." As the day progressed, more Nexari from the warship came aboard the Helios. Scientists, engineers, and cultural experts all witnessed firsthand what their abandoned kin had become. The children, for their part, showed remarkable patience in demonstrating their abilities, their skin patterns glowing with pride and joy at finally being seen for what they were, not threats, but pioneers. Atlas stood with Sarah as they watched a group of Nexari engineers marvel at the engine modifications. "You know, this is just the beginning," they said. "Change won't come easily to our people." Sarah smiled. "Good thing they'll have humanity to help them adapt. If there's one thing we're good at, it's embracing chaos and finding opportunities in crisis." As if to emphasize her point, Nova successfully merged the communication systems of both ships, creating a seamless network that allowed instant understanding between all languages and thought patterns. The achievement was met with applause from both crews, a sound that echoed through the halls of the Helios like the beginning of a new era. The bridge between stars had been built, not with steel and technology, but with understanding and acceptance. As Sarah looked out at the two ships floating side by side in the vastness of space, she knew that this was what humanity had really come looking for, not just new life among the stars, but the chance to help shape a better future for all species. 3 months after the historic reunion, the Helios approached the gleaming spires of New Harmony Station, a joint human Nexari installation built from the remnants of the old research station. The transformation was breathtaking. What had once been a prison of isolation now shone like a beacon in space, its living metal surfaces pulsing with the combined energy of human innovation and Nexari biotechnology. Commander Sarah Chen watched from the bridge as Nova and the other Nexari children worked in perfect synchronization with the station's systems. Their abilities had grown exponentially under proper guidance, and more importantly, their confidence had soared. But today's arrival of the Nexari High Council would put everything they'd built to the ultimate test. Incoming transmission from the council vessel, Lieutenant Rodriguez announced, his voice tight with anticipation. The holographic display materialized, showing not just High Commander Xiris, but the entire Nexari Council, 12 beings whose skin patterns rippled with the formal geometries of their highest authority. Their silver eyes took in the transformed station with visible astonishment. "Impossible." First speaker Van breathed, their skin flickering with disbelief. The simulations predicted catastrophic failure if the aberrants were allowed to fully merge with our technology. "Your simulations were based on fear, not facts," Atlas replied, stepping forward beside Sarah. Their skin displayed complex patterns that somehow managed to convey both respect and defiance. "Perhaps it's time to see the reality rather than rely on theoretical predictions." Sarah nodded to Emily, who initiated the presentation they'd prepared. The holographic space filled with data, 3 months of documented progress, successful integrations, and unprecedented technological advances. The station itself was their greatest evidence, its systems operating at levels that defied conventional engineering limits. "What you're seeing is just the beginning," Emily explained, highlighting key achievements. "The Nexari children haven't just learned to control their abilities. They've developed new applications we never imagined possible. They can heal damaged systems, optimize performance beyond theoretical limits, and even predict technological failures before they occur." The council members exchanged troubled looks, their skin patterns showing conflicting emotions. Second speaker Mira leaned forward, their patterns suggesting intense curiosity. "And what of the human systems? Surely such deep integration with alien technology has caused complications." Marcus Kelly stepped up, barely containing his excitement. "Quite the opposite, actually. Here, let me show you something extraordinary." He gestured to Nova, who approached the holographic display. The young Nexari's skin began to pulse with intricate patterns as she interfaced with the station's systems. The holographic display transformed, showing the station's inner workings in real time. Every system, every power flow, every data stream was visible, and all of it worked in perfect harmony. "Nova doesn't just control the technology," Marcus explained. "She communicates with it, understands it at a fundamental level. She's teaching our AI systems to evolve, to adapt, to grow. It's a true symbiosis." First speaker Ven's patterns showed clear alarm. "Teaching AI to evolve. Have you lost all sense of caution? This is exactly what we feared. The corruption of our technological purity." "Purity?" Sarah's voice cut through the tension. "With respect, first speaker, what you call purity looks a lot like stagnation from where we stand. These children aren't corrupting your technology. They're helping it reach its full potential, just as they're reaching theirs." Atlas moved to stand beside Nova, their patterns synchronizing in a display of solidarity. "For 300 years, you left us to die because you feared what we might become. Look at what we actually became, not destroyers, but creators. Not corrupting influences, but catalysts for growth." The council chamber fell silent as Nova demonstrated her latest achievement. The station's systems began to sing, literally sing, creating harmonics that resonated through the structure itself. The music was haunting and beautiful, a perfect blend of organic and artificial creativity. "This is what you feared?" Atlas asked softly. "This miracle. These children have learned to speak the language of technology itself, to help it evolve alongside us. Isn't that worth more than your fears?" The council members watched, transfixed, as Nova conducted her technological symphony. Their patterns began to shift, showing signs of wonder breaking through their rigid formality. But then alarms blared through the station. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel, Rodriguez reported urgently. "Nexari signatures, appears to be the conservative fleet." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "The ones who opposed any contact with us. The purest faction." Xeris confirmed, their patterns showing grave concern. "They believe any deviation from traditional Nexari development must be eliminated. They're here to cleanse what they see as contamination." The incoming ships took up attack positions around the station. Their leader's transmission was brief and cold. "This abomination ends now. Surrender the aberrants and their human corruptions, or we will purify this sector with fire." Sarah looked at her crew, at the Nexari children who had become family, at the council members who stood on the precipice of a crucial decision. The next few moments would determine not just their fate, but the future of both their species. Atlas's voice carried the weight of 3 centuries of survival as they addressed the council. "You abandoned us once out of fear. Will you abandon us again, or will you finally stand with us and face the future together?" The station's lights pulsed with power as Nova and the other children took up defensive positions, their combined abilities ready to protect everything they'd built. The moment of truth had arrived, and with it, the chance to prove that the greatest strength comes not from purity, but from the courage to evolve. The space around New Harmony Station blazed with tension as the purest fleet's weapons charged, their intentions clear in the aggressive formations they maintained. Inside the station, Commander Sarah Chen watched as Nova and the other Nexeri children joined hands, their skin patterns synchronizing into complex geometries never seen before. The station's systems hummed with power, responding to their combined consciousness. Last warning. The purest commander's voice crackled through the comm. Surrender the aberrants and their human allies. Our calculations show a 98% chance that their corruption will spread through our entire civilization. First Speaker Ven stepped forward, their skin patterns shifting from uncertainty to resolution. And our isolation has a 100% chance of leading to stagnation. We were wrong, Commander Krell. Wrong for 300 years. The purest ships began to move into attack positions. Sarah turned to Atlas. How many ships in their fleet? 27 warships, Atlas replied, their skin rippling with tactical calculations, all equipped with our most advanced weapon systems. Sarah's lips curved into a slight smile. Advanced weapons controlled by traditional computers. Show them what true integration looks like. Nova raised her hands, her silver eyes gleaming with purpose. The other children moved in perfect synchronization, their combined abilities reaching out to touch the station's systems. What happened next left even the council members speechless. The station's living metal began to transform. Sections that had appeared decorative revealed themselves as advanced defense systems, unlike anything either species had created before. But instead of weapons, they were something entirely new. A technology born from the merger of human creativity and Nexeri evolution. What is this? Commander Krell demanded, a note of fear entering their voice for the first time. The future, Nova answered, her young voice carrying the wisdom of both species. Let us show you what you've been afraid to see. Streams of light erupted from the station, but they didn't strike the purest ships. Instead, they enveloped them in a network of pure energy, creating a web of connection. Through this network, the consciousness of the Nexeri children flowed, touching the ship's systems with gentle purpose. In the lead purest ship, displays flickered to life, showing not tactical data or weapon readouts, but memories. 300 years of survival against impossible odds. The pain of abandonment. The joy of discovery when humans arrived. The wonder of learning to control and enhance their gifts rather than fear them. And most importantly, the moment when fear turned to understanding, when what was different became beautiful rather than threatening. Their ship systems are accepting the children's connection, Marcus reported from his engineering station, his voice filled with awe. They're not fighting it. They're adapting to it, improving because of it, just like ours did. Commander Krell's image appeared on the main display, their skin patterns showing profound confusion. This is impossible. Our firewalls, our protections, were designed to fight an enemy, Atlas explained gently. But we are not your enemy. We never were. We are your children, your future, and now we can show you what that future looks like. Through the energy web, Nova and the children began to sing. It was the same technological symphony they had demonstrated earlier, but now it included the systems of the purest ships. One by one, the ship's own systems joined the harmony, creating a chorus of organic and digital life working in perfect synchronization. The council members watched in amazement as their greatest fears transformed into their greatest hope before their eyes. The purest ship's weapons powered down, their systems voluntarily accepting the new integration. Do you understand now? Sarah asked softly. Evolution isn't something you can stop, but you can choose to guide it, to help it become something beautiful, instead of something frightening. Commander Krell was silent for a long moment, their skin showing patterns of deep thought. Finally, they spoke. All our simulations, all our predictions, none of them showed this possibility. We never imagined. Imagination, Nova interrupted, her voice carrying the combined wisdom of her human teachers and her Nexeri heritage, is what you forgot to calculate. Humans taught us that the most beautiful possibilities are the ones you never thought to simulate. The energy web slowly dissipated, leaving the ships transformed. Not damaged or corrupted, but enhanced. Their systems now hummed with the same harmonious efficiency that characterized the station. First Speaker Van turned to Sarah, their skin patterns showing deep emotion. "You did more than rescue our abandoned children, Commander. You helped them become what they were always meant to be, the bridge between what we are and what we could become." Sarah smiled. "That's what humanity does best. We see potential where others see problems. We find strength in diversity where others fear difference. And most importantly, we never stop evolving." The days that followed would be remembered as the beginning of a new era for both species. The Nexari children, once feared and abandoned, became the most celebrated teachers in their civilization, showing others how to embrace change without losing themselves. The purest fleet, transformed by their experience, became the first graduates of a new academy dedicated to exploring the possibilities of human-Nexari cooperation. New Harmony Station grew into a symbol of what could be achieved when fear gave way to understanding. Its spires reached out into space, like hope made manifest, its systems singing with the combined genius of two species who had learned that the greatest legacy they could leave was the courage to evolve together. As Sarah stood with Atlas and Nova, watching ships from both civilizations dock at the station, she remembered the lonely distress call that had started it all. "Your people abandoned you because they were afraid of tomorrow," she said softly. "Instead, you became tomorrow's architects." Nova's skin shimmered with patterns of joy as she interfaced with the station's systems, creating a display of light that danced through space like aurora. "And we're just beginning," she said, her silver eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. "Just imagine what we'll create next." The station's harmony echoed through space, a testament to what could be achieved when two species dared to imagine a future without fear. A legacy of two worlds becoming something greater than either could have become alone.